class. We are reading Jake Drake, Know It All, Chapter 5. K-I-A-D-I-A. K-I-A-D-I-A. If you remember, we left Jake Drake, in the library looking for a science project with Marcia and Kevin looking over his shoulder. So here we go. Chapter 5, K-I-A-D-I-A. That night after dinner, I told my mom and dad about the science fair. We were having ice cream for dessert. Mom and I had chocolate, and Dad and Abby had vanilla and strawberry. Abby's my little sister. She's 2 years younger than I am. So back then, when I was in third grade, Abby was in first grade. I handed the science fair booklet to my dad. Right away, he flipped through it. He looked at each page for about 2 seconds. He said, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense. This is good. Fine. Great. Jake, this will be a lot of fun." Then he ripped the permission slip off the back page. He signed his name, handed a pen to me. "Just sign on the line, Jake. There you go. Now we're all set. So what do you think? You want to make a rocket? Or maybe a volcano? These are a lot of fun. Or maybe a model of a planet. I always loved making Saturn, you know. The one with all the rings? That's a great project." Meanwhile, my mom started reading the booklet carefully. Abby was doing anything except stirring her ice cream. Wasn't doing anything except stirring her ice cream around and around in her bowl. Mom said, "My goodness, Jim, did you see that there's a prize for first place?" "Well, of course. Well, sure," Dad said. "There's always a prize for first place. When I won my seventh grade science fair, I got a nice trophy, but I think my sister threw it out when I went to college." My mom winked at me. Then she said to Dad, "Okay, you know there's a prize, but do you know what the prize is?" There's Dad reading the instruction manual. My dad said, "Well, no, I mean, not exactly, but I know there's a prize, so we'll try to win it. Right, Jakey? Like with a rocket, something really exciting. The judges love exciting projects." Mom had flipped to another page. She looked sideways at me and said, "Jake, why don't you tell your dad why you will not be making a rocket for the science fair?" I said, "That's because on page 3 it says I can't make anything that burns or smokes or explodes." Dad said, "Well, there are other kinds of rockets, like the kind that use water power. You know, a water rocket. So we could still make a rocket." Mom laughed and said, "That sounds like something a KIADIA might say." I said, "What's that mean, KIADIA?" Abby looked up from her ice cream. She said, "I know. It means know it all, do it all. Mommy told me." And I remembered that. I had heard Mom say that before. One day, Dad wouldn't read about how to put a new bicycle together. Mom said he was being a KIADIA. And when he got a new garage door opener, it broke because Dad hooked the motor up backwards. He didn't read the instructions. When that happened, Mom said, "Dear, sometimes I wish you weren't such a KIADIA." Or when my dad wouldn't stop and ask for directions when we were lost in the car, I heard Mom said, "Don't be a KIADIA." Mom handed the booklet back to Dad, and he started reading. I said, "You know the prize, it's amazing, Dad. If I win first prize, I get a Bluetooth 12 computer from Wonky Supercomputer Store." Dad said, "A whole system? A Bluetonium 12? Yeah," I said. "And a year of free internet service, too." Dad whistled. And then Abby tried to whistle, too, but instead some melted ice cream drooled down her chin. Dad looked at the booklet again. He said, "Well, I guess we had better get right to work on this, Jake? See that? How my dad said we? He said We had better get to work. And that we got me worried. This was supposed to be my science project. Right in the science fair booklet, it said that kids had to do their own work. And then I thought, what if dad thinks he's going to get a new computer when my project wins first prize? Kids like Kevin and Marcia, I knew they were going to be a problem. I was ready for that. But what if dad is a KIA and a DIA too? How do you tell your dad to keep his hands off and that you don't want to share your new computer with anyone, not even him? On this science fair project, there was only one room for one KIA. Know it all. And that was me. Well, that was chapter 5. We will do chapter 6 later. See ya.